Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Monika. If you don't know, no idea why I said it like that. I obviously meant Monika. And I am originally from Poland, but I have lived in the UK for almost 7 years now. And I thought I would make another video on this subject, especially since I've done videos like that before, where once I spoke about 10 reasons why I like living in the UK, which actually is 2 or 3 years old now, so maybe I should do another one. And another one I've done is cultural shocks that I experienced when I moved to this country. So I'll put the links in the description below. But in this video, I will be telling you in general about my almost 7 years experience living in this country as, let's call it what it is, a foreigner, right? So the first thing I thought of was, in terms of living, obviously houses, property. Now when I first moved here, I found it very annoying that everything was made from red brick. Literally every single house is red brick. There is the odd exception where someone puts a bit of a render on or something, but in general it's brick. Now only when I started exploring more of the country and going to different areas, I realized, and I was told, that it's because locally the council likes properties to look similar and not make them stand out, and they are built from whatever is the local material. So in some other areas, for example in the Peak District or in the Cotswolds or in the Lake District, you'll find that houses are made from either like dark stone or like this yellow stone. And I think my favorite is what you'll find in the Cotswolds. Those kinds of properties are also in different parts of the country, but especially in the Cotswolds, it's like yellowy stone. I just think it looks that charming. And now I don't find the brick as annoying because I understand why it is what it is. And I also like to travel to those like small quaint villages and exploring the properties there and what they look like, and it's got its charm. Now the reason why I didn't like it at first is because where I'm from in Poland, it's rare that you'll find a house which is not rendered over. People put insulation and then render it, and we do have really tough winters in Poland, so that's probably why. But yeah, and then people paint their houses whatever they want. The most common usually is like white or yellow, like light yellow, but you'll find a purple house or a pink house or an orange house too. And so yeah, coming from that, you're certainly only seeing one color everywhere. It's not even a color, it's just brick. I found that annoying, and especially in a new city, in a new place where you want to find your way around and then all you see is brick, is a bit harder, especially like in the suburbs. But yeah, I'm fine with that now. Then speaking of houses and property, another thing I want to talk about is London. Now if you've never been to the UK, or maybe you've only been to London, it may seem like London is everything you want to find out about Britishness and London is what the rest of the UK is. Now that is so untrue. London is sort of like its own little planet. The city is literally so busy and really built up and fast paced. There's lots going on there, and it's sort of spread into boroughs, so you'll find that the boroughs or like smaller parts have its own like called villages, where you've got like centres with shops and restaurants, but then it's all interconnected together into the city of London. Now when you travel outside of that, you'll find so much more to the UK. There's some beautiful countryside and landscapes such as Cornwall and Devon. I mentioned Cotswolds before. Even where I live in the northwest, there's some beautiful picturesque places such as Cheshire has some beautiful villages with amazing countryside, lovely walks, villages. And then you've got Scotland. Scotland has such beautiful landscapes, they're so worth to see. The Peak District, which is just a short drive from Manchester, is amazing. And then you've got the Lake District as well, which is so gorgeous. Now there are parts of the UK which I haven't explored yet, but it's not much. I feel like I've been to a lot of different places. So yeah, if you have a chance and you want to see more of the UK, make sure you see the smaller places too, and the nature reserves and parks, because they are so worth seeing. And also going to like a random village in a nice area, you'll have such a different experience. So yeah, don't forget, London is not all there is in the UK. There's lots of amazing places that are worth seeing as well. Next thing I'd like to talk about is the diversity and sort of equality and stuff like that. So this country is quite diverse and multicultural. There's people from all over the globe, and it's normal, and I know that's because of the history when Britain used to have lots of colonies. But yeah, UK has lots of different nationalities, and from my personal experience, being foreign has never been a problem. because I speak the language, I'm hardworking, I want to learn, I want to do things. I was very ambitious and I still am, so in terms of that, I was treated just like anyone would be. And I know that's how it should be, right? It's obvious we all want to be treated equally and every person is the same and stuff like that. But I've heard from people who have lived in other countries that people who go to live there are not that accepted. If you're a tourist, it's different, but if you go there and you want to set up a life, I'm not going to mention which countries I'm talking about, but yeah, so it can be difficult for foreigners to actually be accepted and into the community, into workplaces and stuff. Now in the UK it's not like that, it really isn't. So yeah, like I said, I know this is something that should be obvious, but I know this may not be the case in some countries. A lot of the time it's just the culture. Now you can't justify things like inequality, but I understand that in some cultures it may be harder to accept minorities, and even though they are trying and moving forward with the times, there's still a bit of like a cultural sort of barrier. Now coming from an Eastern European country which has suffered a lot in the past couple of 100 years due to wars and stuff, and it may be a bit behind in many areas, coming here and learning how easy it is to navigate your adult things, which means like the government stuff you've got to sort out, your car tax, car insurance, and even things like taxes and healthcare and just like things you've got to do because you're foreign. It's all paperless, literally, it's all online, and I find that amazing. There's literally only been one time when I had to show my face to sort something out, and that was when I first moved to this country. I had to book in an appointment at the job centre, but I can't remember what sort of part of government deals with that. But basically what it was, I had to register myself as an adult working person to get a national insurance number. When you've got the national insurance number, then you can work. That was when I had to go for the actual interview, and but after that everything else has been paperless. Even when I had to sort out the settlement scheme, which was after Brexit, so there was some like technicality you had to do if you wanted to continue living and working in this country after the Brexit date. So yeah, even for that I just had to fill out a form, take a picture of myself and stuff like that. It was that easy. And then I've actually been going through my citizenship application as well, which I am making a separate video about, and that again was almost totally online. I had to go in for some things, but there were things like some tests I had to sort out and give my biometric info, so like fingerprints. Obviously for those things I had to go in, but other than that it was been all online. So yeah, coming from a country where you gotta go to an office and stand in the queue to get anything done, this is brilliant. Another thing that I found, which is kind of specific to the UK, I know it may be to some countries too, but it's just something that popped in my head, is that you're never really far from anything and anywhere. Even if you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, you can jump in the car and suddenly you're in the closest town or city or on the motorway. And yeah, this country has quite high population density, I think that's what it's called. I'll correct you on the screen if I said it wrong. So there's quite a lot of people per square mile or kilometre. There are obviously some parts that are a bit more remote, such as the furthest point of Scotland, or like the furthest point in Cornwall. But even so, you're not really that far away from the rest of the population and like the busier areas, which I find is quite great, because then even if you go to like a remote cottage or little village or camping and you feel like there's nothing around you and it's so nice and quiet and beautiful, but then you can always get in a car and be in a well built up area where you got shops and everything. Speaking of nature and being in the middle of nowhere, there's like no stray dogs here, which is great. I'm a huge dog lover. I'm obsessed with dogs. I've always loved dogs. I don't have one at the moment, but that's a different story. But yeah, where I'm from originally, there's always stray dogs. You always find them anywhere, and some people rehome them, maybe just feed them. But yeah, it's just a thing that now thinking about it, I can't believe it, and it's heartbreaking. I wish I could save them all, but over there it's just the way it's always been, and when you live there you're kind of used to it. But here you don't find that at all. There's lots of dog charities, rehoming charities. And speaking of dog charities, in general charity work here is so prevalent. Like you always hear someone doing a charity challenge or raising money for something, and there's so many charity shops where you can donate the things you don't want anymore, and then they are sold, and different charities have their own shops, and some of them sell electronics and things like that. Some just sell clothes and books. But there's loads of them, and there's literally like on one high street you may find 5 different charity shops, and it's a very popular way to also minimize your carbon footprint and just buy clothes secondhand. And also wherever I've worked, there's always been some sort of company charity activities, so you do like different events and challenges to raise money towards your chosen charity, and then the company will put some money in as well. So yeah, it's great to see that. I know it's kind of obvious, right, if you're from here, but I just don't remember seeing it that much at all when I was growing up. Speaking of clothes and shopping, it's great to see that here people don't really care what they dress like, in terms of say you go into the shop, you can go in your joggers, or you know, like in wherever you grab, or you're wearing while you're in the house. Obviously if it's an event, if it's an occasion, people do dress up. I mean, that is obvious, but people don't seem to try impress strangers as much as they do in Poland, or you find in Poland. I remember you wouldn't really go to the shop looking like a mess, like you just got up, or with greasy hair or something, because what would people think of you? You want to be seen as being put together and clean and things like that. While here it's not as much of a worry, you know, you can dress how you like and no one will care what you wear going to your food shop. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave comments. There may be things that I said here that you disagree with, and from your experience they were different. So let me know, let's open up the discussion. I think this video is sort of like a end-to-end area in terms of my foreignership. I know that's not a word, but yeah, being foreign here. So last year I started the application for citizenship because I just felt like I belong here. I've lived here for a while now and I really identify as being part of this country, and I agree with its beliefs and everything, and I wanted to my official status to reflect that. So after my ceremony I will actually be a British citizen as well as Polish citizen. I am a bit late with uploading this video, so the ceremony has already happened and I am already a British citizen. So yay! Thanks again for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.